So my grandfather often says the best laid plans of mice and men oft go awry, and in that spirit, we're going to talk about 2022. Stick with us. Hi, I'm Zach Moore from Alamo Music here in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications. This is our Alamo Sound Lab channel where we talk about all things music tech related. And today we're going to talk about 2022, and for lack of better judgment, I'm going to try and make a few predictions about what I think might be happening in the synth world for 2022. Kind of making this video to publicly humiliate myself at the end of 2022 when many of these will most likely turn out to be wrong, but I thought it'd be a fun exercise and a great conversation piece. Would love to hear your thoughts about what you think is going to happen below as we go through this, but here we go. Number one, we are not going to see a lot of products ship next year, new products. As many of you have noticed, there's been kind of crickets from many of the manufacturers. The year started out with a lot of excitement from Behringer, Korg, Roland. I don't know if so much Roland, but there was a lot of excitement about things coming to the market, new products. And as the spring hit and the summer hit, it became quieter and quieter. And the questions about when's this going to ship, when's this going to happen, you know, the OBX-A clone from Behringer, the RD9, the Korg drum log, and the Wave State SE, a lot of things that had generated a lot of excitement kind of just stopped being talked about. And I unfortunately personally believe this is going to extend way into next year, possibly until late fall, if not into 2023. From what we've heard from our manufacturer partners, the supply chain has not been getting any better, and the shortage of chips has also not been getting any better, and demand continues to rise. So really, I think we're going to see not a lot of new product next year, and the new product that is released, we'll see it in small quantities. So that's my number one prediction, probably the most accurate based on a lot of these things. There's no quick solution to a chip shortage. There's no quick solution to supply chain issues, as you've likely read about in the news. So that's my number one. Number two, the price of vintage synths the price of vintage digital synths is going to continue to rise. I think it's been interesting to watch the price of DX7s, Korg M1s, D50s, JD 800s, JD 990s, JP 8000s, a bunch of kind of 20-plus-year-old digital synths that have interesting quirks to them, that have limitations in their digital to analog conversion kind of hardware. They have their own character and sound, and they're exploring ideas that really haven't been picked back up by synth manufacturers until very recently. These synths, these digital vintage synths, have seen their prices creep up as a new generation of players is beginning to appreciate and learn about them. I think things like the Boutique series doing re-releases of digital synths like the JD 800 that we're seeing Roland do a boutique version of, and they made a D50 not too long ago, but I really think that we're going to see digital vintage synths continue to rise in price. So that is my second prediction for the synth market for next year. The third, I think we're going to see stabilization on a lot of golden era analog synths. Not all of them, but I think stabilization or kind of a price decrease on synths like the Jupiter 8 or the Yamaha CS80 kind of 50, 60 series. Those saw a exponential rise in price over the last 2 years. You know, a Jupiter 8 pre-pandemic, 10K, they were going for 10K. Now they're listed between 30 and 50. The CS80 also is commanding, 50 to 100K asking prices. Who knows if people are paying that, but I think those are going to stabilize or come down on some of these kind of golden era vintage synths that have a mass market mass audience. It just seems like that is the direction it's headed in. That's my third prediction. So my fourth prediction is that the prices of a few analog synths that are not necessarily as popular are going to see also a dramatic increase in price. I think the JX8P is a perfect example. I think some of the re-releases and software versions of these analog synths that weren't as popular as, say, a Jupiter 8 are bringing awareness and building awareness so that the price will likely go up. The Memory Moog, the Jupiter 6, and the Jupiter 4 have all been growing in price over the last year. I think that's going to continue. I think Oberheim's potentially might increase in price dramatically as well. Just some of the less talked about synths. Oh, another manufacturer that I think, these aren't analog, they're hybrid mostly, then Sonics as well. I think that there's just this awareness that's growing around vintage analog synths in general, with all these reissues that are going to raise the prices of kind of the non-trophy synths as well. So I think that's my fourth prediction. And then number 5, again, my memory shot, having 2 kids at home does not help, a 1 and a 2-year-old. So number 5, I think that the synth community is going to continue to grow. I think it grew a ton in the 2020, and in 2021, it also continued to grow pretty rapidly. But I think, again, kind of timing with the slowdown of release of new products, I think it plateaued, or maybe even just, or the growth rate slowed, or it plateaued even starting in the summer. But I think going into next year, we're going to see it continue to grow and that community continue to expand with the really cool stuff that a lot of manufacturers are pursuing. Korg with their new digital synths that are kind of continuing dialogues with some threads of synthesis that were forgotten. I think there's going to be some really fantastic stuff that happens in the synth community in 2022 and beyond. I also think that we're going to see more, and this is bleeding into number 5, but I think in the manufacturing realm, we'll see more explorations of pure play digital hardware synths that are not workstations, but exploring the capabilities of digital synthesis in interesting ways, maybe more hybrid synths as well. Really think that's a conversation that's going to continue into 2022. So those are my 5 thoughts on what I think is going to happen next year. Would love to hear what you think below. Leave a comment. Would love to continue the dialogue. Again, you can find us at alamomusic.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the synth community. And don't forget to keep playing and enjoying yourself. It's great to watch videos, but really at the end of the day, it's even better to play music and to enrich your life that way. So hope you have a great day. Talk to you soon.